Okay, I am moving in approximately 1.5 weeks. So I don't have a lot of time and half my studio is packed up, but I wanted to do a quick video on the sewing book journal series because I've had a lot of questions and a lot of messages. Am I still doing it? The answer is yes. I just don't want to rush into it like crazy and be unorganized. I have a whole heap of notes on this class because I want to break it down into sizable bites for you so you don't get overwhelmed, because this thing can be really overwhelming. Now, the first thing that I want you to do while I'm getting myself moved and packed and getting my internet reconnected is I want you to excuse me, secure the scraps. This is the first part. So we are not going to work on our journals in full spreads, if you understand. I don't work like that, and I want to show you how I work in my art journal and how I approach art journal pages. I don't do massive one-page spreads and then move on to the next page. It's not how I work, so that's not how I'm going to teach you. I don't even feel like I'm really going to be teaching you anything, but you will see how I put together pages. Now, what I mean by secure the scraps is if you look at my journal pages, you can see that there are a lot of elements on a lot of the pages. There are bits and pieces of everything. So I want you to start securing your scraps. Now, I think I told you this in the last video, but now I'm making it an actual lesson. I want you to go through and start actively collecting bits and pieces. I have always got collections on the go. This also means photographs. Don't forget your photographs. This is what makes my journal a little bit different to everyone else's, is that I include my life in my art journal pages. So there's bits and bobs of everything in my art journal pages. So, securing the scraps. If you have magazines that you've got lying around, I have a couple that I haven't packed yet. So something like this out of Flow, I would actually cut out the I'm Not Here Right Now, and I would use it in the back of one of my spreads. I would use this and it would go down, and then I would work around this. So you need to be a little bit more open-minded when you're looking through your magazines. Fonts, texts, words, all that sort of thing need to be analyzed. And if you think you can somehow, so like Art for Every Day, this was out of a home magazine, and it was something about putting art on your walls. I think this was quite a while ago, so I'm pretty sure that's where that came from. You know, just bits and pieces of everything. We are going to be doing page construction organically. I am not going to go, this is how you do this and this is how you do that. That's not how I'm going to be, because that's not how I created this journal. I created this journal in stages. I added bits and pieces to each page, and then I built them up as time went on. And that is what we're going to do. We're going to be working on about 3 to 4 pages organically. So we're going to add elements to them. We're going to start working on them, put color down, maybe do some drawings, but it's all going to be very easy because this journal was not hard to create. It looks like it's a lot of work, but when you get down to the gritty bit of it, a lot of this is just color on the background, an element that I've cut out, a photograph, some washi tape, some little hand doodles every now and again. It's not as exciting and crazy as it looks as a whole, and that's what I'm trying to do for you guys. I'm trying to break it down so that you can create pages that look similar to this with your own style. Obviously, this was a bit crazy because I did a lot of doodling, but I want it not to be intimidating to you. I know that I see a lot of art journals and they're like big, huge 2-page spreads, and then it's the next 2-page spread. So mine looks a lot different to a lot of people's journals, and people may like it and people may not. But you guys seem to enjoy the journal series. So we're going to be securing scraps and photographs and bits of offcuts of scrapbook paper. All that sort of thing needs to start being collected. Now I'm going to be offline for about 2 weeks, so you've got 2 weeks to start securing your scraps. because then once I'm in my home and set up, this series is going to start coming out once a month. I was going to do it once a fortnight or once a fortnight, but I just want everything to be taken slow. I have other videos besides these ones, so I want to make it easy enough for you guys to do each step without having to stress, oh, I'm getting behind. So step 1 is to secure your scraps. I mentioned this last time, but now we're going to take this journal, and we're going to, I don't think I've packed my other one. No, I left it out because I knew I wanted to do a video. So we are going to be getting scrap bits of scrapbooking paper, cutouts of magazines, you name it. If you can find like cards that you've been given that you like, cut them up. So I would rather cut up a card that someone's given me than throw it out because I've got no use for it. So I normally do tape in cards and stuff like that, or little bits of cards that I really enjoy, just to sort of preserve them a little bit longer. Otherwise, a lot of people just throw out old cards. I like to try and use them if I can. And we're going to be laying down washes of colour. A lot like in my Midori journal, if you've seen those, I am going to be putting down washes of colour in the background because that makes the page a lot less daunting. Where do you start? I normally start with putting down just some random colors and then putting down some of the scraps, and then we go from there. So this is not going to be a very long video because I am obviously in the middle of packing and my studio is basically bare, but I did keep out my old journal so I could explain the whole thing to you. But these sorts of things, like if you've done art on other things, like this was a index card, we're going to use those things. So just keep collecting those things. And then we're going to start putting bits and pieces down on 3 to 4 pages only. We're only going to work in 3 to 4 pages. We're not going to get too ahead of ourselves. And then we're going to go from there. So I want you to collect all your bits and pieces. So I've got this, I'm pretty sure I packed my little scrap folder, so I'll have to start another one and put it somewhere. I don't know where, but I'll put it somewhere. So let's have a look quickly because my battery is blinking at me. I didn't charge it. See, something like this, even though it's someone else's artwork, I would probably glue it into a page because I like it as an element. And let's see. The Beauty of Dreaming, I would cut that out and use that somewhere as a title in one of my artworks. I love font, and because I'm terrible at font, I go looking for other people's writing because that's one thing that I really struggle with is font and all that sort of stuff. Let's see. I'm not doing too well, am I? All these little photos of feet, I would cut some of them out and I would paste them into the corners of pages. And I'd probably take a photo of my own feet and sit it and like print it and put it next to it. Ode to Imitation, that font I would do, and I would probably find a famous work of art that I would really like to copy, and I would draw it out myself. So that would be like that's already building on a page. You have to look at things and think, how can I make that into something that's mine? A lot of these prints are going to be taken out of my Flow magazine and put into frames for our new home. Like this one is so stunning. So these won't make it into my journal because they're going to be framed. Like the teacups and things, I would probably cut out the teacups. As you saw on the other page in here, I've done that with the plates. Of course, now that I want to show you, yeah, see these and the plate here and the teacups, they were from a magazine. So they're beautiful and they look beautiful in my artwork. So I would look for very similar things. So these teacups would probably be cut out individually and then put in my folder, and then randomly they would get added to pages because I'm a tea lover. So of course I'm going to have teacups in my journal. And let's see. You know, things like these little cute little pot plants, I would cut them out individually and just add them as little page elements, or I'd add one and then I'd try and paint my own version of it on the corner, all that sort of thing. I think I started cutting things out from this anyway. Frankie is another one that's here in Australia. I always buy them because they have quirky little titles and things like that. And I always cut them up. This one hasn't been attacked yet, but my other ones that I've already packed are pretty pulled apart. You know, little dishes and things like that. All these sorts of quirky things. You can also cut out people and cut their heads off and like redraw their head and stuff like that. A lot of collage work. This is what we're going to be exploring. Like I would cut out like this and use that somewhere against things. Let's see. This one, maybe I haven't cut this one up because it's not hugely worth it. Maybe as a background page, glue it down and then work over it. Sometimes I'll find patterns that I really like. I'll paste them down and then I'll do a light gesso wash over them so I can wash out the original pattern but still have a little bit of it peeking through. Like these skirts, where are they? I would cut them out and like put them on the page and then I'd draw a person with them, and I've done that before, and I'll probably actually pull them out and we'll do that. We'll create people around clothing. So that'll be an exercise for you guys to play around with. If you find any items of clothing that you want to create characters around, start collecting clothing, people. It'll come up as one of the things. I mean, it won't be a whole lesson, but I don't want to call them lessons because I don't want to get them stressed out, but there'll be activities that we do. It sounds like we're going to primary school. We're going to do activities. Just like little bits and pieces. Like even the texture of that will be turned into something. All these sorts of things that you can be collecting now while I'm packing up my studio and moving house, so that when see, these are beautiful. These would make it in somewhere. But I wouldn't want them to be a focal point because they're not my art, but I would use them in a way that complemented my own art but wasn't all about this person's art, because that's what I don't want. But I do like using scraps of, you know, this floral pattern in the background could be used as a border around a page, that sort of thing. So that is where I want you to start. I know it's not much at the moment, but I am packing my house, and guys, you need to be patient with me. This move came out of nowhere. We found the house we really wanted and we got approved for the rental, so we kind of had to pack up our lives really, really quickly. So it kind of puts a quash on what I'm currently working on. So I want you to start getting your scraps together so that when I've moved and I've all set up, we can go straight into it. So the next video you guys will see will be this one, and we'll be working in it. There'll be no prep anymore. It'll be straight into it because this is your prep. This is your time to prep now. So if you have any questions or you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see or work on, put them down below so I can work them into my notes. I've got pages and pages of notes on bits and pieces on ways that I get to where I'm at, like things like this page and stuff like that, how does it all evolve? So that's what we're going to work on. I'm also going to be, if you don't have any index cards or maybe those gridded Project Life cards, I am going to do a whole couple of videos on making your own tip-ins to add in as page elements to your journals. That is also something, because I do love a good tip-in and it can become like a real quirky interactive thing. I do it in my Midoris, but when I do them in my art journals, it's normally my own art that's on them, like paintings. These are my like little drawings that I've done. So we're going to work on tiny art, which then will complement a bigger page of art. So all that sort of thing. We're going to be doing photography, so I think you should start getting some of your photos printed because they're going to become parts of your journal pages as well. This is something that has always been in my work, is photographs from my life, and I like to incorporate them into my art. So get some photographs printed. I know a lot of people love to take them, but they never get them printed. I want at least 5 to 10 of your photos printed. Quirky things. If you don't know what to take photos of, go take a photo of your letterbox. I did. And I'll have to go and take another photo of my letterbox because I have a new one. I'll have a new one soon. So I will go and take a photo of my letterbox once we move so I can have it printed out for the video. And that is where I'm going to leave you. So I know that there wasn't much in this, but I wanted to get like a little quick prep video for you guys so that when I've moved, we can go straight into it and there'll be no more delaying. Collect your scraps, get them into a folder or a box, look through magazines. If you see like this is what happens when you try and rush a video. I was almost at the end and my battery died and there was just so much rage because I didn't have much more to say to you guys except for collect your scraps. And we'll start afresh when I move into my new house and I've got my little studio nook set up in the house. And we'll go from there. So start collecting index cards, OHTs, or I don't know what you guys call them, acetate sheets if you've got any like lurking around. They make really cool textures over things. And if you started working on like little artworks on things, I think this was done on a spare piece of paper, that sort of thing. So start collecting all your bits and pieces and we will go from there. And we'll get this art series started because I know you guys are really busting for it to happen and it's just been so hectic. I don't feel like I've stopped for a second. Even though I'm not making videos, life gets in the way, man. I just have so many ideas for this series and I want it to do it right. And this is the first time I've done anything like this, so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing anything out. I've sat down with my journal and I've this journal and I've broken it all down as I've pulled apart and dissected pages and then how I'm going to sort of like teach it to you guys, that sort of thing. So it's been a long planning process because I don't want to get it wrong and I don't want to let you guys down because you all seem so excited and genuinely interested in this series, and I know you all really love this little art book, and I understand that more than anything because I love this little art book. So I want to create it again and I'm doing that for you guys as help, I guess. And of course I really want to get back into a bit more of that mixed media sort of feel. I haven't done it in a really long time, I'll be honest with you, but I do always look through this book and miss that eclectic sort of art for art's sake. No point to it all, just generally playing and enjoying and making bright colorful messes on pages. So I'm hoping that this will be a series that you guys enjoy. If you have any ideas or something you really specifically want to see done in a video for this series, please put your ideas and stuff down below because you might come up with something that I haven't even considered because I didn't think it was important or I didn't think it would be a meaty enough thing. So if you guys have got recommendations or something that you really want to learn about, like this sort of style of art journal, I know it's not to everyone's taste, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but if this is the sort of thing that you really would like to do and you would like a book that looks similar or that like this sort of style, just let me know so I know, because sometimes I think something isn't worth mentioning, but other people may really love it. So I need to know these things, guys, because I'm not a mind reader, and I just sometimes need a little kick up the backside and a little reminder that sometimes things that I overlook could be really amazing if I look a bit further. So that's what we're going to do. Get your scraps together. We'll start working on a few pages. I'm going to be using watercolors and watered down acrylic paint because a lot of these backgrounds are literally just watered down acrylic paint or really cheap watercolors. Distress stains, I know a lot of you guys already have them because of my Medora videos. I will be using those as well. I may use gesso, but not like, I really enjoy the text and stuff in my pages. I really enjoy that you can see parts of the sewing book in my artwork. So I don't really gesso my pages. You can still see the text. And that is what I love. So I'll probably use white acrylic paint for highlights and things, and maybe some gesso. There might be some black gesso if I wanted to go a bit crazy, but these are not requirements. Just use what you have I'm not expecting you to have a million supplies at your hands. Even I don't have that many supplies, but I do have the stuff that made this book. So without further ado, I will see you guys on the flip side once I've moved. Get your stuff together so that we can dive straight in as soon as I've moved. I'm sorry this has taken so long, just life gets in the way, and I really wanted it to be perfect. And I think my perfectionism is what got in the way of me just getting down and getting a video done for you guys. So that is all I've got for you today. Let's get your scraps sorted, and we'll start in about, give me 3 weeks before I start this series, because I need to get my studio set up. I've got a week and a half before we moved, and then I think it's going to take about a week to 2 weeks for our internet to get connected. So I'll probably have it pre-filmed in the new house, but I can't do anything until our internet's all sorted out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. I hope you're getting re-inspired for this series. I certainly am. And I will see you on the flip side in my new little studio, and we'll get some sewing book journals started. Thanks for your patience, guys. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.